Hey, Quilt Roadies! It's a gorgeous day in the neighborhood. Yes, the temperature is absolutely perfect. Feels like 70. Blue sky, not a cloud in the sky, no smoke. Because we have had smoke drifting up from the fires down south of us. And, oh boy, I don't miss all that wildfire worry. Now, yes, we do have wildfire worry here. We are in the middle of a forest, but it's different. It's not like a guarantee because of the dryness. We're pretty wet where we are. Our camping trip was fabulous. Enjoyed every minute. Didn't get hardly anything done. Absolutely minimal stitching, but what can I say? Totally soul-filling. Well, as you saw at the beginning of the video, I have started piecing together my youngest grandson's quilt, and yeah, I'm going to have to I want to use a flannel back, and unfortunately, I did not buy enough flannel when I decided to make it. So I have got to go back and get more flannel, and I think I might do something a little bit different. It'd be fun to have like if there's a polka dot flannel, put that on the back. So I guess I'll have to go into a fabric store like I haven't been already this week. I went with some friends to Acorns and Threads, which is a cross-stitch shop. If you're not familiar with Stitch Roadies, which is my other channel, that is mostly, well, I should say has the cross-stitch component, but sometimes it's just me jibber-jabbering. But after Acorns and Threads, I went to Pioneer Quilts, which is a local shop to me. A lot of nice selection, beautiful wool. You could go back and I did a walk around video of Pioneer Quilts. Everything gorgeous there. And I bought a ball of black Veldani for my wool stitching because I go through that a lot really fast, and I knew that I was getting low. And then I saw these two pieces of fabric, and I had to have them. What can I say? I don't know. Maybe it was because I was in what is called the Christmas room of the shop, which is obvious, a lot of holiday fabric, and I decided to gift myself ahead of time. And so I found this piece here. Look at that. I don't know, I love all things words and music. And I just love this. And this fabric is, let's see, does it say by who it's by? Yes, it does. Holly Jolly Free Spirit, Corey Dantini. And then I also purchased the kind of antique-y looking brown on tan. So those are the only two pieces. And in making a choice, I bought a yard of each because my brain was thinking, oh, table runners, small decor quilt, maybe I wouldn't need more than a yard. I may regret that down the line, but who knows. I did receive some kindness, and this particular pattern came from Priscilla. Thank you so much, Priscilla. So when I went to Acorns and Threads, I picked up my mail, and it said to add it to my Bee Hive collection or as a giveaway. And I think I'll decide that down the line, because look at this pattern. It was designed by Janet Miller, the City Stitcher Quilt Collection, and it's number 2 in a series called Bee's Garden. Look at that. Isn't that just adorable? Thank you so much, Priscilla. Very sweet of you. Thank you. Yeah, I get my mail now at Acorns and Threads. So when I go into the shop, there's usually, oh, I hear G. G's arriving home. Yeah, there he is. Such a boy. Such a boy. I also received, and you have got to see this. This is from one of my favorite designers, Peter. Peter is the, I was going to say the, okay, Peter is the woodworker half of Carolina Cross Stitcher, and I'll put their contact information in the bottom of the drop-down box. But Peter does fabulous things. Let me go get something to show you. So I have ordered from Peter. Look at this. He's a wood turner. And so this is it's a scissor holder and shaped like a mushroom. Is that not just beautiful? Well, when I saw on their site this, a lot of times I'll have friends come stitch here in the Bee Hive, and I like to have stuff available, pin cushions and scissors, little scissors. Well, I saw this on their site. It's a spool, but it holds 5 little scissors. Is that not cool? Now my intention is to create a cross stitch that will go wrap around this spool. But I was also thinking, for you wool people, this would be fun to design something that a little wool motif would go around. So I will definitely be putting that in the drop-down box, because Peter does special orders too. Although on his wife's Instagram account, she'll post when he has stuff available. If you didn't want to wait and you said, me please, you could get it right away. Yeah, so it's not a big long video, because I have been focusing on the birthday quilt. I had this is I know some of you have the same process. So I made the blocks. You know, I made the blocks, you know, I'm working row by row, and I always put a pin on the very first one on the top left corner so I know where I'm starting when I'm chain sewing. I made all the blocks, and so I was feeling quite, I mean, the birthday's not till October, so I was feeling quite smug about it, and proud, and so I had all the blocks made. And it wasn't until my friend said, when's the birthday? And I said, well, the birthday's in October. And she said, so what's the plans for August and September? And so I started going through my calendar, and I realized, oh my, we haven't, there's a problem, Houston, because there were, it's like my schedule is ramping up, as most people's do towards the end of summer, beginning of fall, a lot of stuff going on, perfect weather, perfect time of year, trying to get in, fit in all those last things before the snow flies, whatever. So I got hyper-focused, and I decided I need to lay that thing out. I need to understand the size of it, because I didn't calculate the size ahead of time. I just went ahead and made blocks until the jelly roll was gone, and that was it. Well, I laid it out, and then I said, I need to just start stitching it, because I need to quilt it and I need to bind it. So now I'm in my backup hyperfocus and I'm piecing this quilt, and today the top will be pieced. Then hopefully I won't forget about it before I get more flannel and quilt it. Do you do that? Do you piece a whole quilt and then forget about it? I hate to say that I do that, but I do that. Yes. My oldest grandson's coming for a week next week, so I'm going to be busy with so many fun things. Yeah, yeah. It's so fun to spend time with them, and they're growing so much that pretty soon they aren't as interested in you as you'd like them to be. You'd like to be the most important thing in their life, but something happens, and suddenly you aren't. So that's why we have to keep stitching and crafting, because we can always have girlfriends. Yeah, we can always have girlfriends. Another friend of mine, Linda, I hear, and that's AKA Van Mom on Instagram, she's working on developing a crafting Patreon site, and it sounds fabulous. Now, if you're interested in her crafting, which she's a quilter, cross-stitcher, paper crafter, you name it, she does it. I mean, last week she took extra quilt blocks and made a coin purse out of them. Amazing. She is going to be developing, we hope, keeping our fingers crossed, a Patreon site. And for those of you who don't know what a Patreon site is, it's a YouTube channel where you subscribe to it. So usually a Patreon site will have 3 levels of membership. $10 is the base, $15 you get a little bit more, $25 a month you get even more. Before you balk at that, the way I look at Patreon is it's like when I used to have magazine subscriptions. You know, they cost so much a month. Magazines now, when you buy them on the stand, they're quite pricey. But a Patreon site actually has a video where you can real-time talk or observe how to create something. And so I look at like $10 a month, that's a magazine. And you get to interact and be encouraged and inspired, mostly inspired. And so when she gets that launched, because her crafting site, and you must go back, I will try to link it in the drop-down box, the video that I did of her crafting room. It's fantastic and so inspiring. And aren't we, very few of us are just piecing quilters. That's all we do, we piece and we quilt. A lot of us are doing other things, knitting, crocheting, paper crafts, journaling. We like to make all the little things, you know, we like everything. And so that, I think, will be a fun, inspiring Patreon site. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. As far as books, oh my gosh, someone recommended a book to me that I cannot put down. It's an audiobook, and it's called, I'm just going to make sure I say it right. I believe it's called The Girl, let's see here, let me just bring it up. And The Girl Who Wrote in Silk. And I'm here to tell you, it is a combination, it's a fiction, but it's a historical fiction, so it's based on facts or events or time periods that actually happened. And it's about the Pacific Northwest and the Seattle area, the immigration of Chinese to that area, and it kind of goes back and forth between present day and past history, family history. It has romance. It's what I would call more of a novel, rich novel. And it is by, I'm going to bring that up and tell you, it is by Kelly Estes. I am really enjoying it. So I think that it would be, yeah, I recommend it totally. And I was so happy that it was recommended to me and that I jumped on it and have started reading it. It's great. Let's see, movies, shows, watching, not so much. You know, when we were camping, sometimes we have a DVD player in the van, and we'll watch old episodes of, you know, we have old DVDs, so old episodes of The Big Bang or things like that. So we did a little bit of that, but pretty much we just sat out and watched the river. It was so gorgeous. And again, I've said this before, it's so amazing how much work occurs on that river. So, what can I say? Everything I said in the last two videos about plans, it's kind of crazy. As you see here, look at what happened here. I got that Civil War log cabin quilt back from the quilters, and I've already attached the binding here, so I have to tack the binding down. I am leaving this for a winter stitch because it's heavy and we're still in summer. And so I will be attaching that binding, and I was very, very pleased that I found the fabric for the binding. I found a fabric for the binding in my stash that I had enough of to do this big quilt binding. Besides, I have two quilts that I have to bind sooner than later for fall events, but I also need to, Halloween needs to be bound and off of here and off to the grandkids, yes. Yeah. So anything I said before, liar, liar, pants on fire, I've changed my mind 10 times already. I'm doing something different. I got a different plan. But it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Well, I hope that you allow yourself some flexibility because that's what happens in the Bee Hive. It's total flexibility. And we shall meet here again, okay? Be sure you show up, subscribe, hit that thumbs up. We would love it. Love it, love it, love it. And keep sharing with your friends that this is a place to hang out. Love you guys.